In the long history of India, there are heroes whose names are written in golden letters, and there are traitors whose names are cursed for eternity. Among the latter, one name stands out more than any other: Mir Sadiq, the man remembered as the ultimate betrayer, whose greed and treachery led to the fall of a mighty empire and the death of one of the greatest rulers in Indian history, Tipu Sultan. The story begins in the late 18th century. The British East India Company was expanding its power across the Indian subcontinent, defeating one kingdom after another. Yet, standing in their way was a fearless ruler, Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu was a brave warrior, a skilled strategist, and above all, a patriot who loved his land dearly. His resistance against the British was so fierce that they considered him their most dangerous enemy in India. The British knew that defeating Tipu Sultan on the battlefield would not be easy. His armies were well-trained, his fortresses strong, and his spirit unshakable. But they also knew a darker truth. Kingdoms often fall not by the strength of their enemies, but by the betrayal of those within. And in Tipu Sultan's court, there was one such man, a man whose heart was filled not with loyalty, but with greed: Mir Sadiq, one of his ministers. The British secretly approached Mir Sadiq with offers of gold, power, and comfort. They promised him wealth beyond imagination and authority if he would betray his sultan. Without hesitation, Mir Sadiq agreed. He chose his own fortune over his ruler, his people, and his nation. In 1799, the decisive battle came, the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War at Srirangapatna. Tipu Sultan prepared to defend his capital with unshakable courage. His soldiers stood ready, the cannons loaded, the walls fortified. The British army surrounded the city, waiting for a chance to break through. And then came the moment of betrayal. During the heat of battle, when Tipu's soldiers needed weapons and reinforcements the most, Mir Sadiq gave a fateful order. He commanded thousands of soldiers to gather in one place under the pretense of distributing arms and pay. While the brave men stood waiting, confused, the British launched a sudden and powerful attack. The cannons of Mysore fell silent, the defenses weakened, and the enemy stormed into the fortress. The betrayal had done its work. Tipu Sultan's men were thrown into chaos. Yet, Tipu himself did not falter. Wounded and outnumbered, he fought with unmatched valor. Sword in hand, he cut through waves of enemies, refusing to surrender. His words still echo through history: "Better to live one day as a lion than 100 years as a jackal." Surrounded, he fought until his last breath and fell as a martyr, a hero who chose death over dishonor. But the traitor who caused this tragedy, Mir Sadiq, did not escape the judgment of history. Though the British rewarded him for his treachery, he could never escape the hatred of his own people. In the streets of Mysore and beyond, his name became a curse. Wherever he went, people whispered in disgust. He lived not in glory, but in shame, despised by those he had betrayed. When Mir Sadiq finally died, there was no mourning. Instead, people celebrated the death of a traitor. His grave became a symbol of infamy. It is said that locals would hurl stones upon his resting place, spitting on it and cursing his name. Some accounts claim that his grave was desecrated multiple times, destroyed so that his memory would never be honored. Even centuries later, the site of his burial remained a place of contempt, reminding generations of the price of betrayal. Today, history remembers Tipu Sultan as a lion who defended his land with honor, and Mir Sadiq as the embodiment of treachery. His story is a lesson that nations are often destroyed not just by enemies at their gates, but by traitors within their walls. It teaches us that loyalty is priceless, and betrayal is the deepest wound a nation can suffer. Mir Sadiq's name has become eternal with disgrace. Even now, when people speak of betrayal in India, they say, "Do not be another Mir Sadiq." His story is a dark reminder that while heroes inspire us to rise, traitors warn us never to fall to greed.